All right, you all come in, hit that like, hit that share button. Um, let's talk about this government shutdown that is scheduled to take place tomorrow night at midnight. Yep, on a Saturday. Is it Saturday? Let me make sure. October 1st. Oh, Sunday. But it's scheduled to take place October 1st, which is a Sunday, but which will be Saturday night at midnight, right? So Saturday night at midnight would technically be Sunday, October the 1st. President Biden has already made a statement that specifically the Black community will suffer because of this. And why is that? Well, because of this, you got Medicare that will be delayed. You got food stamps, or what also called the financial assistance, food financial assistance program. I think it's called SNAP, right? That will be delayed. So a lot of people that receive these services, and particularly this came directly from President Biden, said the Black community. So this is just not me saying this to make my title real clean. This came direct. What it mean for SNAP? Yeah, SNAP. Student loan repayments are supposed to begin October the 16th. Also, the deadline for your tax returns. October the 16th. And right when Joe Biden is talking about how this is going to affect the Black community, you got Tupac Shakur's, um, you know, arrest happened today. So it's always distractions for the Black community if you allow it to be, right? And so you got air traffic controllers and TSA screeners are essential workers, but they still can affect air travel, even though it will operate as normal during the shutdown. But it still could affect this because maybe thousands of trainees will be furloughed, right? So if you travel lately, for me, my last travel experience last month was awful. So many delays. So it was already issues with traveling and flights, where specifically flights as well before this is happening. So Medicare, Medicaid benefits and mandatory programs, they, can still see their doctors, but according to this, but it will be delayed. What it would mean for Social Security checks, I guess, good thing if you receive Social Security income, you will continue to receive your payments, but it could be a delay in the time for people with the issues that are responsible for making sure the payments go through due to furloughs, right? So you still will see your security payments. So you have people like state troopers, you have military workers, um, state and federal child nutrition will continue through October and maybe a few months beyond that. But the department won't be able to support these programs for a full year without certain apparations being passed as well. So, people, again, millions of military, state troopers, things like that, that will have to continue to work without getting paid, that are accustomed to get, you know, once a month, but they have to continue to work without a paycheck or they'll lose their job. So let's listen in on President Biden, just in case you have not been keeping or being updated with the news, where specifically he said the Black community will suffer. Right? This is not me. This is directly from the president's mouth, that the Black community in particular will suffer in case of a government shutdown. So I want you all to come in, give me your comments. What do you think? Will you be affected? Will someone that you know be affected if this happens tomorrow night at midnight? A lot of people that receive these benefits might be out partying. I mean, it does fall on the weekend. They may not know if this, you know, does not get resolved. They may not even know till Monday that they are affected, right? Um, and maybe that's a good thing. Might as well party, right? But uh, hopefully they'll notice, you know, um, their SNAP or Medicare or whatever services are disrupted so they can properly prepare. And hopefully they're not going out and partying this weekend and spending money that they may not have in the event that they have to come out of pocket, right? Until this resolved. So you got like Head Start programs, for example, they're serving more than 10,000 children will be immediately lose federal funding, right? Immediately. However, if this shutdown don't last, they may have enough food and supply, right, for that. And so, again, households receiving SNAP assistance will do so normally through October, but the people working to make sure that these services, SSI, SNAP assistance, et cetera, WIC, could be at risk of losing assistance almost immediately because the people that's responsible for making sure these payments are processed may be furloughed, right? So you have almost 7 million women and children who rely on the supplement nutrition program that's called WIC. So 7 million, and that will be almost immediate. That will be almost immediate. So they're asking states to rely on their own money to carry over funds. So let's listen in on this.
And I agreed to spending levels for the government. We were up right to the very edge, almost reneged on our debt, and that we're going to fund essential priorities and still cut the deficit by $1 trillion over the next decade. Now, a small group of extreme House Republicans, they don't want to live up to that deal, and everyone in America could be faced with paying the price for that. We changed it. We made a deal. We shook hands. We said, this is what we're going to do. And now they're reneging on the deal, which is not much of a surprise these days. And the Black community in particular is going to suffer if that occurs. For example, shutdown is going to risk nutrition assistance for nearly 7 million moms and children. It's going to disproportionately affect Black families. The Department of Housing and Urban Development will have to stop nearly all its enforcement work fighting housing discrimination.
So particular WIC, thank you. Hey, hello. Thank you for that wonderful comment. Continue to be a pioneer for people. We need any type of financial education. Get the message and apply yourself. XPLR, BGLD, Texas T. We lit. We cannot be put out. Yeah, it is still producing us our daily income flow. Shalandra, I am happy for that. I'm glad that we got in at the opportunity because it's no longer available to the general public right now. And we're still getting our daily payout with cryptos backed by real world assets. Also, Shalandria, I don't know if you joined the latest update, but October the 6th, mark that on your phone, put an alert. It's going to be an update from IX Global and DebtBot. So we are hoping and expecting and participating and praying for the best. Again, that's October the 6th, which is Monday is the 2nd. What is that, a Thursday? Or Friday, right? So we are going to anticipate and hope for the best with that. Again, you have till midnight tomorrow to know about this government shutdown. But when I looked at the United States debt clock, you all, this was very scary. This is usdebtclock.org. You can see United States is in $33 trillion in national debt, and BRICS nations continue to expand. What does that mean? That means countries are getting away. They no longer want the United States dollar, right? And with that being said, they they know what unfortunately most Americans do not know is that the United States dollar since 1913 is not backed by any real world asset, any real world commodity, meaning that it's just monopoly money, right? It must have an asset that makes it valuable. That's why gold and silver used to back the United States dollar up to 1971. Then President Nixon removed that because Spain was on their way in the warships to come, and they had a boatload of United States cash and said, we're dumping it back to you We don't want your cash anymore. We don't want your monopoly money. We want our gold back. We want the real money back. We want God's money. We want the money that never fades or corrodes or and have intrinsic value, not this colored paper that's losing purchasing power by the day. President Nixon got word of it, and midway, as Spain was on their way to do this, he changed the law and said United States dollars for other countries can no longer be converted into real money. That's why I educate you all, give you financial literacy and financial education about what real money is versus cash, fiat, also known as fake money. So this is why you don't work for cash per se or fiat money. You work for the assets that cash can get you, right? Which is things that make money while it's working. You don't have to work per se. Things like real estate. That's why it's called real estate. Gold, silver, cryptocurrency, right? Things that give you perpetuity income and continuity cash flow, and that increases in value and that put money in your pockets versus bills and a mortgage that take money out of your pocket, right? So many people work for cash to get liabilities. Your house is not a liability. The author of the best-selling financial book of all times, Robert Kiyosaki, taught this in that book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, that a house take money out of your pocket. However, if you buy a fourplex and you live in one unit of it and you rent the other three, now you're changing the game, you're flipping the game, and you're getting money put into your pocket, and you're literally living rent free, right? Appreciating assets, things that increase in value over time, not depreciating. So this is a usdebtclock.org. And if you look at this closely, you all, I am enlarging this as much as I can, but the dollar supply, and they have it pointing directly at the dollar supply. Like, I'm not making this up. Go type this in yourself, usdebtclock.org. The arrows are pointing to the dollar supply that's at a negative $790 million right now. Negative dollar supply and circulation. Why is that? Because these other countries are not accepting it anymore. Other countries are saying, we have the oil, Saudi Arabia, Russia, we have real world assets. Why should we take your dollar? Right? We have the agriculture, China. We are shipping the food, the agriculture to you, commodities. Why should we take your dollar? We're not. They're standing up. They are uniting, and they are de-dollarizing the United States dollar. A negative 790 million, 116, et cetera, is too big for me to pronounce. They have several yellow and red arrows pointing at that. Whereas in 1913, right, this was the dollar supply that was in the positive. Why 1913? Because this is when the Federal Reserve was created, so they can get taxes out of your paycheck. And this is why I also tell people, if you're being highly taxed out of your paycheck, you need, not should have, but you need a home-based business. Why not a brick and mortar business, Queen? Because a brick and mortar business, you don't get the in-home benefits. And that does not mean you have to live in a house. You can live in an apartment. You can live in a townhouse. You can live in a condo and get square footage back at taxation, get your utilities back. So in essence, you're turning your bills into business deductions. Percentages of your water, your gas, your light bills, your square footage, right? Where you use as an office space, whether that be a room like this that I'm live streaming from, or a bedroom or extra room that you use for your business purposes. Learning about the laws and the deductions of a home-based business, because that gives you more tax deductions than any other tax code. And I'm not talking about selling products out of your house. that puts you in liability, that if someone comes to your home or they get their hair done or their nails done or you're selling products, and if they injure themselves on your property and you don't have the right umbrella of insurance or protection, or you don't have the right entity, a S corp, a C corp, or even a LLC, which is limited liability, but it is some type, then you can be sued. No, I'm talking about a digital home-based business where you don't have to sell products, do hair, and do other things that can put you at liability at risk. And so, with that being said, the dollar to silver ratio is at 0, and the dollar to gold ratio has been reset to 0 as well. Why is that? Because gold and silver is going to be used to reset this currency system. And this is the financial education you do not learn at schools. You're not taught in schools. Most Americans do not know what real money is. They have worked all of their lives and never had held real money in their hands. So this means we don't know right now silver is the most undervalued asset in the world, right? The most undervalued asset in the world. And we don't know what the price of silver will be readjusted to. But I do know this right now, it is under 38, well, $40 an ounce. Right, $40 an ounce. That should be something that everyone should be able to afford, where you should be buying silver on a weekly basis. I have my silver on auto ship, and not to my home, right, but at another location. But I have it there because I put my wealth on autopilot. I don't want to see wealthy people, rich and wealthy people, they invest their money first and then they spend what's left. The poor working class, or people that live paycheck to paycheck, are people that may be one paycheck away from disaster, which can happen tomorrow at midnight. If they don't get paid, just one paycheck, and they're not able to buy medicine for their children who may have, like, issues that are covered through Medicare or just your federal insurance, health insurance, and you need medication, maybe for military, for example, they may have medication for PTSD and things like that. And that medication is delayed. And now it's too expensive for you to go and pay out of pocket. That's living paycheck to paycheck, or that's the poor working class. And most people do not even realize that they're in that category. That one paycheck away, and they cannot pay a mortgage and their bills or their vehicle notes. Now, on another topic, gas prices are skyrocketing in California. Some of you all, if you're not in California, you may see a little dip in your gas prices that's happening right now. And that's because Russia and China, this is the key word, are expected to boost their oil supply. It's not guaranteed. So you see oil prices have taken a dip from that news, but that's not guaranteed. As a result, you see some gas prices that have maybe 10, 15 cents lower. However, if this does not happen, you all, gas and oil prices are going to skyrocket. Right? So they're saying Russia eased its separate ban on fuel export instabilities. So expected does not mean that it will happen. However, gasoline prices, you all, in California are still skyrocketing as a result. And this is why I have been telling people that you definitely need to grow your cash. It's not, in my opinion, again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not giving you financial advice, right? But in my opinion, you definitely should put your cash into something that is outpacing inflation, that beats inflation. And so, paying at the pump for the Golden State, California gas prices are skyrocketing. The national average right now is, I think, $3.44 a gallon. Let's see. But in California, it's 55% higher right now. And so you just can't look at what's happening in your state and say, oh, the economy is going to be fine. Gas prices is down 10 cents. No, you have to look at what's not only happening statewide, but globally. And this is getting so intense. You need to be careful about the cheaper gas prices as well, because the governor of California issued an order on Thursday to state regulators forbidding oil refineries from producing a cheaper winter blend of gas until October the 31st. So they can't produce the winter blend, which will increase the supply of gas and reduce prices. Right? He temporarily prevented that to October the 31st. And so they're saying that they want to bring California gas prices back to the national average again, 55%. The average gas price in California right now is $6. It's $6 in Cali. So let's look at California by the numbers. California by Gematria. Let me read some comments. Sir, to start a home-based business is like $250. Carl, I love this question. I love it. I love it. I love it. Everybody listen closely at this answer to this question. I love the question. Very intelligent question. How do you get money to invest without a job? Get a job. How about that? Get a job. Get a job. Get a job. And if you want to be an entrepreneur and you feel like you want to do the entrepreneur route and not get a job, then leverage your credit. Leverage your credit to start your business, and hopefully you can profit enough to, before that, if you're going to start out with a credit card. My first flip house, I used a Discover credit card. I discovered that I can use credit cards to get assets. I used a Discover credit account, wrote a check to myself, a cashier's check. The house we settled for $5,000. This was years and years ago. 3-bedroom home, 2-bath, patio. $5,000, wrote the cashier check to myself, deposit in the bank account, purchased the house, flipped it, made 5 figures off of it. That's the answer, right? If they choose to raise the debt ceiling, it will begin defaulting on multiple obligations that have mainly to the American people, like Social Security and pensions and such. Listen, at $33 trillion, and we can go over the number 33, which is the number of illumination, right? Illumination, 33 vertebrae in your 33 bones in the vertebrae. 33 at the age that Christ recorded was died, the physical form, and was converted to spiritual. 33 degrees in which ice is then melted into liquid. 33 is the number of awakening. It's the number of transfiguration. Again, age 33, Christ was transfigured from a physical form to spiritual. And so they're telling you in the numbers, right? This is the economy by the numbers, that we're going to see a transformation happen, just like ice is transforming to liquid at 33 degrees. You could think of the 33 masonry. That's why the debt ceiling's at 33. And speaking of numbers, thank you, Clay. Make sure that you are subscribed on YouTube. You might have to delete the app and reinstall it. And right next to that subscribe button, make sure you have the bell notification button as well. And speaking of the economy by the numbers, if we just type in California, the gematria of California, you see the double 88. Now we know 88 means, or the number 8 means new beginning. It is the upside down infinity. That a new beginning is happening. And this is where gas prices is higher, 55%, the double 55% of the national average. Right. And so we see the double 88, and people, we are going through the greatest financial reset of all times. This is a time for people to position themselves for the greatest wealth transfer, for prosperity, to be awakened, to be enlightened, to be positioned, to be informed and educated. Right? So the double 88 is a product of 2 times 2 times 2, which is 2 cubed, 3 twos, times 11. Right? So we know what 11 mean. 11, as in Genesis 11, represents chaos and confusion as the Tower of Babel was being built, and the gods came down and said, we have to disrupt the language. And they made a global change that affected people globally. And this is what's happening now. So both 2 and 11 are prime numbers. In fact, number 88, there's in astronomy, there's 88 constellations recognized in the sky, right? And so the double 88, 2 times 11, those two prime numbers. I want you to also reference Psalms 88, verse 12. Shall that says, or shall, or should the wonders be known in the dark, and the righteous in the land of forgetfulness. People, these wonders, these occurrences will be known in the dark, right? This is happening. This is why California, just like New York, equals 111. So 8, again, the upside down infinity sign, Revelation 1 and 11, Alpha and Omega. It is the transitioning of an old era ending and a new era beginning, right? New beginning, new order, new world order, or creations, right? New world order, new creation. Um, and so with that being said, that's all I have. I'm definitely planning on keeping you all updated, right, about what's going to happen tomorrow at midnight. Will this government shutdown happen? We have a couple of hours to find out. And so let's read some more comments. I'm glad you're back. Thank you, Hardy. Hello, Lisa. Hello, everyone. Thank you. Because either way this go, even if the national debt ceiling is raised beyond, right? They already have impeachment going forward for President Biden. What if Russia and China said we're not going to increase our oil supply? This is suspected. Then you're going to see increased gas pricing again, as the United States is pretty much out of its reserve of oil, even though we're the biggest producers of oil in the world, right? Biggest producer of oil in the world, but they're reporting that we're out of our oil supply. And then you have to look at how this is also going to affect diesel, agriculture pricing, and just disrupt those who are federal workers who will have to be furloughed until this is resolved, right? Now, that's all I have to say. I will keep you all updated. Nice to see you all. Thank you for saying hello if you're watching this on the replay. come in and say hello as well. Also, I have my PDF booklet, Cash into Crypto. This give you the blue chip cryptocurrency, the small cap, the mid cap, and the medium caps. Um, gives you a breakdown, and it gives you a collaboration. It's a 36-page booklet, so you can educate it and inform about the cryptocurrencies that will be used in this new world, in our new economic system, and our changing economic system. Also, I want you, as you can get your silver, and let's go into the website to visit Queen of Coins Silver as well. Queen of Coins Silver, physical silver and gold. You want commodities. Again, we have no idea, getting silver right now to me is just under $40 an ounce, people. It's just, it makes financial and it makes common sense as well. Because again, gold and silver will be used to reset the currency system. And so let me show you this website so you can see what's on this website, the products to become a member or a wealth ambassador. You have these that are specials. You have the Prince Charles that's printed on this. So if you get anything with Queen Elizabeth, in my opinion, that's great as well, because money with Queen Elizabeth, due to her death, will be out of print, right? So that's basic supply and demand. Copper is also a great, under $3 for copper, because copper is I'm looking at another article just popped up by Janet Yellen and what she said about the shutdown as well. But copper is rare. It is a need for more copper right now. And so getting copper in your possession is, copper is needed for so many industrial uses right now. So with the scarcity of copper, and you get artwork, as Jay-Z said in his 444 album about what rich people invest in. You get artwork and silver and money at the same time. I love this Star Wars that has the black Star Wars symbol on one side and the Queen Elizabeth. This is new. And all of these are limited, mint limited coins, where you get the artwork and the silver and the real money all at the same time. So visit that website, Queen of Coin Silver as well. Now, Janet Yellen says it's vital to avoid dangerous, unnecessary government shutdown. U.S. Treasury Secretary Yellen says that economic repercussions could hurt Americans and family and cause economic headwinds that can undermine progress made to improve the outlook. A shutdown would impact many key government functions, from loans to farmers. So we got to look at agriculture and food prices, small businesses to food and workplace safety inspections, Head Start programs, again, WIC, and let's see, military workers, again, and so et cetera, will be furloughed. Um, yeah, this is greatly will usher in um, the Great Depression 2.0, in my opinion. And I've live streamed weeks ago and told you all that you're going to see this in October, because October is technically the 8th month, right? The Latin word for, and you have to, the Gregorian calendar is, um, the calendar that we used to hang on the walls at our grandparents' house, and maybe you still hang it on the wall, the 12 month. That's a scam calendar. It's not true. The Latin word for October is eight, octo. OCTO, right? So we have to go by the Hebrew, the Roman calendar to know how the government moved, know how the elite move. 8 again means new beginning. You know, octo, octopus, octagon. That's why octopus has 8 tinsels, you know. And so this is why you should know your numbers and your seasons so you can prepare accordingly and get your financial education up. Silver, copper, gold, hard assets, right? And then cash flowing crypto assets and get in. A lot of these cryptocurrencies are still pennies on the dollars right now. All right, you all, I'm going to stay ahead of you all. We'll keep updated, see what will happen tomorrow. Either way it go, people, this is going to have a drastic effect on the economy, no matter what the decision is to raise the debt ceiling. But however, it won't be as harsh as the government shutdown. So I keep you all tuned in for tomorrow. Let's prepare for the worst, but expect the best. You all have a great, great night. Queen out.